Galatians chapter 4, verse 22 tells us that Abraham had 2 sons. That's nice to know. Sounds like good family trivia. I had 3 sons. How many sons or children did you have? Isaac, one of the sons of Abraham, was the son that every one of us would like to be our own son. He was the submissive son, the son who was willing to lay his life on the altar. He married the right girl. He made his mom and dad proud. And his kids would be like the stars of the sky and the sands of the seashore decades down the road. His mom's name was Sarah, and the Bible said that she was the free woman. Isaac was the son of promise. Isaac was the result of patience. His name means laughter, and it was his lineage that produced the Messiah, Jesus Christ. What about the other son? Tell us more about the other son. Abraham had 2 sons. Well, the other son was born actually before Isaac, and his name was Ishmael. It was not Ishmael's fault, but he was the product of impatience, not promise. Sarah was barren. Hagar was her servant. And so Sarah reasoned, why not have Abraham, my husband, father a child by Hagar? Then we can help hurry along God's plan. So that's what happened. But Ishmael was not God's plan. Ishmael, poor child, is called the son of the flesh in Galatians chapter 4, verse 23. He is the son of the bondwoman, not the son of the free woman, and certainly not the son of promise. Ishmael was a problem then, and his descendants have been a problem ever since. I want you to think about this story today. Abraham had 2 sons. What if Abraham would have only had 1 son? Would it have not been better for Abraham, for Sarah, for Isaac, for Israel in the future, and even for that bondwoman Hagar, if Abraham had only had 1 son? Isaac is the only son that God recognized when He told Abraham, take your son, your only son, and offer him on one of the mountains that I will show you. Here's the lesson. Here's the takeaway from this brief story today. God has promises for you, and God has a purpose for your life. But He also has a timing for His plan. God has a time in mind. And that time is usually not your time, and I found that it's never my time. And it seems like it takes a really long time for God's plan to come to fruition. Abraham was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. So God's plan often takes a lot longer than we anticipate. So I want to give you a word of encouragement and even a word of caution today. Please wait on God's promise. After years of patience, don't give up on God's plan. And don't try to force God's plan. Don't manipulate it, and don't try to manufacture God's plan prematurely. The next time you're tempted to take an ethical shortcut, remember this story. Abraham had 2 sons. The next time you're tempted to succumb to temptation, think of the consequences that you will face in the future. The next time you feel forgotten and that God's promises have somehow evaporated, remember the tragic words, I believe, from Galatians 4:22. Abraham had 2 sons. Let's wait on the promise of God.